Uh,
Yes. I'll pop open up. You're funny. Yep.
which one side best to see, right or left?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Just watch your head, okay?
Yeah, nice gold.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank
All righty.
you.
How are you? Have a lovely day. Beautiful day. Yeah.
Oh. Excuse me? Excuse me? I'm sorry. Captain say left side better.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No, it's better see.
Better see.
Yeah.
Smart man.
I'm,
Yeah,
ask-
just stick
I'm
close
asking
to you.
before. Yeah. Oh.
What is your name?
Sergey,
Sergey, I'm Susan.
nice to meet you, Susan.
And you too.
Yeah, it's so bad you married.
Sorry. That's Sergey.
Hey, we're 16 people.
I think she'll
All right.
be fine.
16. You know, it's not like you ran one.
Right,
Huh?
right. That's what I told her. I mean, not that I haven't had some experiences on these big ships. Have you ever had any experience? Bad weather?
Yeah. And funny thing about it, is that day out across some beautiful boat. We went out to have breakfast.
Ну, вот так вот мы собираемся и, может быть, даже поедем. Почему я купил эту экскурсию? Меньше лазить ногами по жаре. Я знаю, что такое Карибское солнце, Бермудское солнце. Так что проще так. А полазить я и завтра успею, и сегодня успею. Вот так.
And my sister-in-law and I, we cruise all the time. We don't even think about it.
Okay, folks. Well, we are away, and with that said, good afternoon, good people. Welcome to Bermuda. Welcome on board the Excellence. This is our famous homes and hideaways tour. But before we get going, just to take care of a bit of housekeeping, to let you know that we do have bathrooms on board. For us up top, we have to go downstairs at the front of the boat, down those steps there. Left or right makes no difference which one you use. All we ask is that you please read carefully what you can and cannot put into our marine heads. This is delicate as I can say that. But basically, if you hold that button for at least 10-15 seconds, we are good to go. And Jamie, could you give me a little bit more volume, please? And secondly, and more importantly, in the unlikely event that we need to use life jackets, if we're down bottom, they're going to be at the back of the boat underneath the white container that says life jackets. And if we're up top, they're also at the back of the boat underneath the blue cushions, as well as up front here by the captain's helm. But having said that, folks, are we going to need our life jackets today? No. No, we are not, because we are in the capable hands of our wonderful captain. He's downstairs right now. His name is Jamie. If you could be so kind, say hi to Jamie.
Hi, Jimmy.
Oh, and we are also in the capable hands of our other wonderful crew member who's just conveniently walking down the aisle. His name is Ty J. Ty for short. If you could be so kind, say hi to Ty.
Hi.
Now, for some of you, Ty is going to be your favorite crew member. Why do you think that is? He is the bartender. Well done. And just to let you know, rum and beer drinks and what have you, they are 10, soda is 3, and water is 2. Now, I know you guys just got in Bermuda. I recommend, if you haven't had already, our signature drink here in Bermuda. It is called the Dark and Stormy. Has anyone had a Dark and Stormy before? No? Well, it's made with award-winning Gosling's Black Rum, and you mix that with ginger beer soda, and that becomes our Dark and Stormy. And trust me, folks, after you have one or two of these Dark and Stormies, you actually take on the name. This is a true story. This is a true story. I've actually had 2 this morning myself, and I'm a white guy. Yep, that is a true story. But with that said, they thought not to plant crops, but they spent all their time looking for gold. Yeah. So the gentleman that was in charge of the expedition that left from Bermuda, his name was Sir George Somers. He said, you know what? It's not worth it. Everybody back in the boat, heading back to England. So off they left. But fortunately, they ran into 2 ships that were bringing supplies to Jamestown, Virginia, so they turned around. So that's Bermuda's very small contribution into helping to colonize the Americas. Now, following the gunpowder plot of 1775, were a group of gentlemen. They broke into a gunpowder tavern down there in St. George's. They stole over 100 kegs of gunpowder. No sense. Well, Captain Jamie told me saying I had never heard before in my entire life. He said, Robert, the reason he did it is because it is easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Yeah, I had never heard that saying. Yeah. But I started to wonder though, would it work on my wife? Well, I haven't tried it, that's why I think I'm stealing. Yeah. But I had never heard that, yeah. But this area is actually known as Fairylands. And just to put things in perspective, the average starting cost of homes in Bermuda is going to be around $1.2 million. Now, of course, you can get homes for less, but average, yeah? However, in this area, the average starting cost of homes is going to be around $4 million, yeah. Now, trust me, as you can see, over there to your left, it didn't look like that a year ago during renovations. But that house is known as Alongside, and it belonged to a gentleman by the name of Mr. Harold Conyers. Now, he is an architect, and this house, and it used to look differently, won awards for its architecture. With the strain of survived of life between 1940 and 1970. Now, at the beginning of the tour, I mentioned that we are British, but Bermuda is what they call an overseas territory. We are self-governing, we have our own rules, our own laws, and what have you. However, the city of Hamilton and the town of St. George's, they're what we call corporations. So they have their own elected officials, elected by the business owners and the residents of those areas. So they would have their own mayors and aldermen, etc., etc. And we say that because as we are leaving Fairylands, over there to your right ahead of us, the greenhouse that you see there, that was owned by the first black mayor of the Corporation of Hamilton, and his name was Mr. Cecil Dismont. I know. You're looking at the house and you're saying, Robert, that house needs a little TLC. Well, you're absolutely correct. Mr. Dismont died, unfortunately, back in 2004. And I want to say, up until 2018, 2019, there was a white boat at that dock, and it did not move from the day he died. And the reason we found out is because it took the family close to 15 years to sort out their affairs. Yeah. And after all of that, what was the sign on that lawn a few years ago? For sale. For sale, yeah, after all of that. And they sold it too, yeah. But even though we're self-governing, we are still British subjects. So we have a governor that is appointed to us by Buckingham Palace. And the governor is responsible for 3 things. Responsible for external affairs, responsible for our peace department, and is responsible for our national defense. Well, a dark period in our history in 1973, our then governor, Sir Richard Sharples, he was assassinated. They killed him, they killed his bodyguard, they even killed the dog. Yeah. I said they killed the governor. She didn't say a word. I said they killed the bodyguard. She didn't say a word. I said they killed the dog. She said, oh, really? Really? Where you from? Where you from? Philly. You know what? I can't really, tease Philadelphia because that's where my people are from. They're from Bristol, so I can't really. But yeah, okay, no. We'll talk afterwards. We'll talk afterwards. Yeah. Well, they're able to look into one of the caves that sit around that island. And if you just look to the right of the dock there underneath the brush, you're able to see the opening of the very cave that they see while they're sitting up there in this kitchen.
There must be a bunch of caves.
Well, I don't really tour, but they, you mean around Bermuda?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And the two, I should say, well, let's say commercial caves that are open, it's the Crystal, well, actually there's only one now. It's the Crystal Caves, and I shouldn't say that because it's two. We have to be vetted first by the Incident Corporation to make sure we're going to be ourselves good. Like I said, that is Hinson Island. That is the largest island outside of the seven Canadian islands. That's the Kennedy Island. Now, words to one, I strongly suggest that you stir it up. Why? Because all the party is on top. Now, unfortunately, we cannot really stir it because now, when we build our houses in Bermuda, and once we get that roof on, and before we paint it white, and that's the ordinary garden variety white paint, that too is a large use product. There is a ceremony that usually takes place, and it's called a roof vetting ceremony. Now, some may consider it alcohol abuse because they literally take an entire bottle of the Gosley Black Rum and they pour that on the roof. And that's why Captain David, he likes to hang around a lot of construction sites. Waste that water. That's it. Now the big yellow sign, hotel that you see there, that is the Belmont. That is the one that partnered up with the fractional ownership that we just spoke of earlier. This is the hotel that they converted into all condominiums, and this also houses one of 7. Bermuda is only 21 square miles, and believe it or not, we have 7 houses. We used to have 9. Now the next house that we're going to speak of belonged to none other than the son of the soil. I call him son of the soil because his mother was Bermudian, and I speak none other than Mr. Michael Douglas. And his family here in Bermuda, they are the Dill family, D-I-L-L, and amongst many things, they own a resort down there in Devonshire, and the area of Sands. Well, back in the early 2000s, he and his wife, Captain Zeta Jones, they decided that they were going to raise their children here in Bermuda, so they bought this house called the Longford. Now, it's a little tricky to see, but Captain Jim is going to get us there, and while he goes, we're going to get Barry. We're going to look straight ahead at those white condominiums, and we're going to go right to the top where you see 4 tall palm trees. Are you with me? Great. Stay back there by this palm tree, or go ahead and left. So we're going to skip the rooftop back there, keep going left. We're going to skip the trees back there, keep going left. Hop over that orange building back there, keep going left, and bam, that 2-story house is all the way up there. It has a chimney on the left-hand side, and then a 2-story on the porch over on the second floor, and that's the house is Longford. Now, you cannot tell from the angle, but that property literally takes up the entire property up here on the hill. And it has the usual amenities that are all in country. Gas tower, yeah. But I tell you what, in 2007, I had the opportunity to hang out in that house for a while. Why? In 2007, we did the musical Dreamgirls here in Bermuda, and I was the musical director with that. Well, Michael Douglas, he was our chief patron. Well, he and Captain Zeta Jones, they came to one of our rehearsals, and the very next day, one of the producers calls me up and says, "Hey, Robert, Captain Zeta Jones is looking for a piano player to rehearse with. She's got to do some benefit in California in a few weeks." I'm like, "You're joking." He said, "No, sir, she gave me her number last night. Give her a call." I called Louis McDonald. I go back to my girl. When I first left those days,
She was doing stuff like from like Chicago to Hollywood. And about an hour in, she said, Robert, would you like to have something to drink? Well, I was like, I have a glass of water. But I think she did. Robert, would you like to have something? I said, I was all I remember at a Bacardi and Coke. But 5 minutes later, we're standing on the porch smoking cigarettes and having a drink. And then it's this. I'm like, wait. I'm Robert Patrick Lewis. I'm hanging out with you. I'm hanging out with Captain David Lewis. Yeah. So for the next 2 weeks or so, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it was the same thing. About an hour in, she was in smoke break. I said, no, I'm up bigger than Captain Drake. An amazing voice here. That's amazing. But then she put that house for last year for the market. This is the second time it's on the 7th. But just over $9 million. But he was still very much involved with the Stanley Resort down there in Cambridge. Present because of the Aero Center. In the process of redevelopment and redesigning. So hopefully in about a year or so, we'll be back running now. Now the next house we're going to speak of is going to one of Bermuda's most notorious and the wealthiest privateers. His name was Mr. Hezekiah Pritt. Now he's an ancestor to the Fraggle Rock Trip. Fraggle Rock Trip that we just spoke of earlier. Well, this privateer, he was doing a little going for it because he was good on this steaming from the ship. However, he wasn't taking everything into the government. They didn't find this out until after he died. Why they did this, I'm not quite sure, but he had the above ground tank, and where they went in it, and they found the oldest lucha. Yeah. But that was his house over there, too. The sort of pictures one. It is known as Spithead. It's his name from an old British shipyard. And you're gonna see, yeah, somebody said, yeah. You're gonna see between the main house and the little cottage to the right, or in the back, you see that dome-like structure. That's an example of an above-ground tank, and that is where Mr. Hezekiah Pritt, he was hiding his loot at. Now, this is a matter of semantics. On this particular estimate paper is stated from this ship, when some tell the story, they say that he rescued this little French thing. Well, but others tell it, they say he kidnapped her. Yeah. But either way, brought her back here to Shadley. Brought her back here to his house and kept her here as his mistress. Well, the subsequent owners of this property have all said they have seen her ghost. Yeah. Now, one of those owners of that property was none other than the British entertainer, right? Mr. Noel Howard. Yep. And another owner of that property was actually American, right? Mr. Eugene O'Neill. I don't know if any of you have ever seen any of their works. I've seen it played by Eugene O'Neill. It was called A Long Day's Journey into Night. Now, folks, if you've never seen the play A Long Day's Journey into Night, take it from me. That play is true. A long day's journey into night. That play was written to himself. Wait a minute, give me a break. But he actually had a daughter that was born right here in Bermuda. And she went to high school in the United States. And when she graduated high school, she got married. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that she married a gentleman that was 54 years old. And by all accounts, that marriage, it should not have lasted, but it did. And it lasted until he died. The Chaplain Estate, which is now used as a reserve wooded area. Now, swinging your attention to your right, the
Well, we used to have a similar thing like that. Similar thing, nothing to do with clothing. We would go swimming before May 24th. May 24th is the unofficial start of summer for us here in Bermuda. It is Bermuda Day, and it's a big holiday, and it is celebrated on the fourth Friday of May, regardless. And I say that because over there to your left, the island that you see there that is known as Block Island, and that house that you see there, that is the summer home to the Butterfield family. And usually once May 24th goes around, and on that particular day, Mr. Butterfield usually comes out here and usually spends the entire summer. And when we come across, we're very fortunate because he has a conch shell up there on the porch. When we come around, he gives us the entertainment. Yeah. Now, the other house that you see on the hill there, that belonged to a gentleman by the name of William Denslow. Now, we may not be familiar with the name, but everyone is familiar with his work. He was the illustrator for Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Mr. William Denslow. And on this tour, we maintain that tower that you see there on the right-hand side, that was probably the very first man cave. Yes. And the reason is significant. And you're going to see that sparrows 13
the